Good day and welcome to the Business Success Network podcast.
Hello and welcome to this episode of the Business Success Network for Disabled Entrepreneurs podcast. This week I have Michael with me, and if you don't know, I'm Jo O'Neill of Bright Cat Business Solutions. I'm also the community leader for the Disabled Entrepreneurs Facebook group. Michael, welcome. Would you like to introduce yourself? Tell us who you are and what you do.
Thank you, Jo. I'm Michael, and I photograph disabled sports. That's any disability and any sports. This came about because I couldn't walk 2.5 years ago. And once I got myself sorted, I had to do something. I can't do my normal job. But then I looked at disabled sports photography because I can sit on the side of a court or a track and take photographs. The quality of photographs out there was abysmal. So I said, I can do better than that. And basically, the idea was born. I got the title of the Disability Sports Network from a little mini conference I went to. And 8 days later, I photographed my first wheelchair game. And then the rest is history, so to speak. It's been a lot of hard work, a lot of phone calls, emails, both ways. But I have got through from small grassroots level stuff, which I love, to going to the Paralympics just recently in Paris 2024. So
You said that the photographs previously were abysmal. Is that because most people, they didn't see the value in it and you did?
no, it's basically the grassroots clubs haven't got enough money to employ a photographer. And basically the people who are there are mums, dads, partners, etc. And while they might be able to do a few shots for their home album, to do them professionally needs a little bit more knowledge and experience. You can do it with an iPhone or similar device, but you need to know how to post-process it, which actually is only a few seconds worth of work, and to make it better, or even just some techniques, photography techniques to make the shot better, and not just upload whatever is in your camera. Even me, I have to correct horizons. Okay, I've got the exposure spot on now, but I am using expensive cameras but there's no reason why you can't do most of the stuff on a very cheap basic DSLR or something similar. But it needs a little bit of training, probably just a morning worth of training. And that is one thing I will be offering groups, because there are so many groups out there. I can't be there and charging all my fees at once. I could be in 10 different places and 10 on the same day. I can't do it. So if I can teach people how to do photography better, because it will help the team with better standing. You might attract some more sponsors and things like that with some decent photography.
Yeah.
And if you've got an important match, then I'm afraid you're going to have to pay for me to come along and take the photographs. But I'm hopefully going to give you the tools to do it. It's because that's not your forte. It may be whatever your job is. You may be a great underwriter. You may be a great driving instructor. But photography is just a hobby where you take photographs of kids or whatever, and you're happy with them. But in the professional world, that's not good enough.
Yeah, exactly. So was photography something you were interested in before you started this?
Oh, yes. I started age 10 and a half, a long time ago, when I begged my dad to take the family camera to a place called Leeson House. It's a geography field trip place in Dorset, near Swanage. And he gave me the day. We came back, got the film developed, and my photographs with the first ever roll of film were better than the teachers. I didn't realize that until about 5 years later, 6 years later, when I was talking to some friends. And I had my first exhibition about 2 or 3 weeks after we came back from Leeson House on the school notice board. So that's not bad for your first roll of film.
Not bad at all, no.
And I've basically been hooked since then. And I vowed never to work out or try and work out how much I've spent on my photography, film, developing lenses, cameras.
That's probably wise.
Yes, I know how much I have to pay out of my bank to buy X item, and then right, okay, we'll put it on insurance, and I forget about it. The money side, because it helps me do a job that I love.
And it's always important when you've got something you love, you just keep doing it.
Yes, that's it. I know I'm only a month back from the Paralympics, but I'm itching to do something more, or another photograph, another event. And I can't find any at the moment, but I think everything's closing down for Christmas.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to have to wait and see what happens.
Fabulous. All right, let's talk about the Paralympics. How did that come about? How did you find it?
Well, I've always known about the Olympics and Paralympics. I've wanted to go since the 80s into the 90s as a sports photographer, but I wasn't good enough then with my camera, and I had a full-time job, and it was just a hobby. This year, when I got the business up and running, I was doing so many things and events were coming along. And then I was going to the Disability Expo to show my work. And I forgot completely about the lead time that it takes to go for a press pass. So I'd missed the first round of press passes. And I said, oh. So I wrote to them very nicely and gently over the next. So this is from around May, June 2023. About every 3 months or so, asking what's happening. Is there any possibility? I do have a sports qualification from the Sports Journalists Association, so I'm not a newbie into sports photography. And eventually this May, which is 2024, I got an email from Kate, the person who issues the press passes, and said, hope you like this. And I thought, yes, I've got a press pass. But then it's, oh my God, I've got to prepare for this. I've got to get myself to Paris. I've got no sponsors. I've got no this, no that. I haven't got a book. I've got to book travel, hotels. And I said, well, I can do all that, but oh my God, I'm going to Paris.
It's very much say you can work it out later.
Yes. So about a week later, after I got the notification, booked my hotel and then the Eurostar. And then you realize, you look at the confirmations and you say, oh, I can go to Paris. It's just for the Paralympics. It's all set in, it's just set. And it was an amazing opportunity, very surreal, amazing. I haven't found the correct word to describe my time there, because you're amongst elite athletes, elite photographers either side of you, because you've got the people from the press and people who do this for a big living, but then you're allowed to go and be almost on the court to take photographs. I was only about 2 meters, maybe 3 away from the court. And that is amazing.
I can imagine, yeah.
What I loved is the lighting at the Paralympics, I believe was the same as the Olympics was absolutely fantastic. I did a test shot on basketball with somebody walking across, and wow, perfect exposure first time without having to do any corrections or anything else like that. So then I said, oh, that means I can concentrate on my composure of the shot
Yeah.
and see what's happening, what faces or what expressions I can get. So that was one massive thing out of the equation. And then you just go with the flow of what's happening. And you've got 10, 15, up to 50,000 people cheering these people on, especially in the blind football. And it's just, the noise is amazing. I use headphones to cut it out so that I can concentrate on what I'm looking at. So it takes out about 80% of the noise.
Yeah.
But that allows me just to think in my head, oh, what's he going to do? What are they going to do? Where they're going to put the ball, or
Yeah.
just work out
more
the
feeling the
scoring.
atmosphere at that point.
Yeah. I'm not cheering for any team in particular. Yes, I had Team GB. I tried to go to a lot of their things. But when you're in a game like Colombia and Argentina, I've got no affiliation to either. So I can
Yeah.
just concentrate on the sport. I don't care who scores a goal or a foul or whatever, or an amazing tackle. It's just taking it. But I apply that to everything that I've taken. It's just, I still can't believe I've been there. It's a month back. I printed up some photographs for people to see, and they just said, wow. And a lot of them have said, when are you going to do an exhibition? And it's just, yes, I know I've got to do that, but okay, if somebody's got a venue, it'd been very nice, and a sponsor or something like that, that would be great. But I haven't got round to thinking about that at the moment.
Maybe that should be a goal over the winter period.
Yes, well, it is. I've got one more in-person session, well, two more in-person sessions to show my work between this week and next week, and then perhaps when I see the DPC, Disability Policy Committee, yes, they may give me some ideas.
Yeah.
I've shown people stuff and they love it. And it's some of my best work ever, because I've seen my photography evolve from day one. Because I'm not concentrating on the sport, I'm more concentrating on the people.
Yeah.
And what happens in a tackle or when two wheelchairs come together, you find wheelchairs off the ground or two wheels as they topple over. That's the expression I want to get. And people say, wow, how do you get that? Well, it's experience a little bit, and it's down to my camera, because I'm not changing any of the settings once I realized they were correct. So it's a matter of actually seeing the shot before it actually happens, so you can pan it. So you think they're going to go over, so you shoot as if they were.
Yeah.
It's very hard to describe. But
I understand what you mean. It's like you're always working a few frames ahead of what's happening.
Yes, because there's a few people in the game that really stand out, and then some people don't. So you just follow there's a lady from Netherlands when they won the gold called Bo Kramer, and she was just kicking ass. I'm afraid I would say that. She was winning points left, right, and center. She was in the right place, right time. And yes, she made the game. So we knew there was going to be action around her. So you concentrate on that lady. And you didn't, it was just, it's just when you've seen these players play for a few minutes, you realize very quickly who's the good ones and who's not going to be worth photographing.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
But you still do, because they still do a pivotal role even
Yeah.
if you're just a disruptor in, say, wheelchair basketball, that's essential to winning the game.
Yeah. So, do you have a favourite sport to photograph?
I have 3. Bashes and crashes is basically wheelchair basketball and wheelchair rugby.
Yeah.
But for the outdoor sports, it's blind football. A lot of people haven't a clue what it is, but it's four a side plus a goalkeeper. The 4 people on each side are blind,
Yeah.
and leaps because I'm not sure where the ball is. So I've got all sorts of people off the ground trying to find the ball when it's actually way down to the left or to the right, or it's right below them. And it just makes, compared to normal football, this is a lot more exciting. There's a
Yeah.
lot more physical contact because they run into each other and they're allowed to tackle while touching each other and
Yeah.
trying to grab the ball. Where in normal football, that would be a foul and you'd go on. But they have to find and try and listen for the ball. It's just an exciting sport. It makes interesting photographs.
I can imagine. And what's number 3?
Well, it's wheelchair rugby and
Oh, yeah.
wheelchair.
Sorry, I thought they were one.
They could be because they're very similar in the pace, in the thing, but in wheelchair basketball, there seems to be more contact type of sports where the wheelchair is off the floor with
Yeah.
one wheel or something. But wheelchair rugby, it's just, again, the guys are just going for it.
Yeah.
The girls are in the wheelchair basketball are softer, but as in the play, but the wheelchair rugby is just wow, we're going to get this goal or whatever, and that's it. They just go in for the kill, sort of thing, because its nickname is murder ball.
That's fair. I mean, I'm a fan of rugby league, so I know they go all for it. I'd imagine the people doing it in wheelchairs are just the same.
Yes, I've seen an interview with 2 wheelchair guys at top of their game last year, and they said, "Why do you do it?" He said, "We're going in for the kill," sort of thing. They're going in for the action, and they're fearless, should I say? It's just wow. They're going to go out there, and they don't even talk about their disability. That is not even in the equation. They're going there to get the ball, to score a goal or a try, and that's it.
Yeah.
I said, okay, that's good enough, you know. And again, there's different techniques to different people. There's one French guy who does a weird technique, but he gets the goal every single time. And
Yeah.
people are not picking up on this. That's the thing. I said, well, hang on a minute. I've watched him through about 4 or 5 games now, and I said, well, nobody's picking up that he's going to whiz around that way. He does it same time, same thing every time. And nobody's said, oh, we could stop him, but they let him go.
Maybe
I haven't worked that one out yet.
might be an interesting day when they work it out.
Yeah.
So, my next question for you is a question we ask everybody on all the BSM podcasts.
Yeah.
And we never get the same answer twice.
Good.
What does business success look like to you?
Well, business success to me was being recognized to be good enough to go to the Paralympics.
Yeah.
But that only happens once every 4 years. But business success to me is making people smile and really enjoy the photographs. And they'll tell that in front of me. And they'll say, wow, that is good. I went to an Inclusion London event, and this partially sighted person said, you've got to get some exhibition stuff. He could see the photographs because they're nicely printed up. But everybody said, yeah, you've got to show this to the world. And that's not just one person saying it now, it's other people. So there's a lot of people behind me wanting to see a full set of this, showing the world that disabled sports can be absolutely amazing, etc. So it's people seeing my photographs for the first time, but also if you watch the Paralympic Games on TV, all you see is a video of
Yeah.
a ball going round and getting in a basket or whatever. I've just frozen that shot in time when all the elements come together, and it happens in a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
And then they realized, I didn't see that. Well, you're not supposed to see that on video. You only
No.
see that on stills. And then I said, well, after that, it actually was made a goal, or no, they didn't topple over, because I got the sequence.
Yeah.
And it's, you see the expression on their faces saying, oh, we're seeing something different now. Because I just freeze a fraction of a second. If I can, the camera I was using at the games was good for up to 20 frames per second. But say I was capturing at 1/2000th of a second, so 1/2000th of a second. Your eye physically can't see it, but I've got a beautiful photograph saying, "Look at this,"
Yeah.
and you see expressions, hands, the ball maybe in play. It's just you see the elements of the game, especially when they clash with another player. It's absolutely fantastic. That's my passion.
I
So
can tell.
yeah, I know when I've spoken on this before, is I'm excited to find my niche in photography. And I had to become disabled to do this because that wasn't even on my radar.
Yeah.
2.5 years ago, I couldn't walk. I couldn't do a lot of things. But now I'm going to the Paralympics, or I went to the Paralympics, and I still have to pinch myself. I'm still looking at my little Feig I got. He's called a Feig.
Okay.
He's got that one. He's got I think it's meant to represent a bendy knee.
Yeah.
On their prosthetics. But, whoops, there he goes. He was everywhere. Encouraging, he danced all over the place. And it's trying to make everybody watch the Paralympics.
Yeah.
And I know Channel 4 did an amazing job, but it's slowly dying down now, which is a shame because we need to keep that going somehow. And with me putting a calendar and magazine together for the Paralympics, for me to sell, or is going to be able to keep it carrying on for at least a year on the calendar and 6 months on the magazine.
Yeah.
So that other people can enjoy it. And of course, there's all the photographs on my website that you can go and look at any time. I'm not taking those down for a long time.
No, I wouldn't do that.
No, because I haven't talked to everybody, because it took me 2 weeks after I came back to completely acclimatize to UK life, because you were in the headspace for 12 days of photographing this amazing event. You just wonder, it took me time to unpack it, the experience, the people you spoke to, etc. And since then, I've made a few very good contacts. So things that we can do after this. Maybe it's going to come alive in the new year when people want to go and get their fitness regime up. And we can now show how the Paralympic people do this, etc. If they can do it, everybody can do it.
Yeah, I like that works. So we know you're looking at exhibiting that wonderful work, but what are your other plans for the future?
Ooh,
Or are you still in?
Sorry.
Or are you still in celebratory mode from the Olympics?
No, I've always had a lot of visions when I first started. I called it the Sports Disability Network. It's Disability Sports Network for a reason. I
Yeah.
wanted to include video and do that magazine on a monthly or bi-monthly basis. So that means I need extra people to come in and help with the photography, the video, the layout stuff. So I want to make it a proper network like Press Association, but in a smaller. So all the stories come into me and we can distribute it to the world. Other visions I've got, it's I've forgotten what all those visions were now. I've spoken so much now, but it's just getting the word out there that
Yeah.
disabled people can have fun, and we're going to. Well, I'm going to hopefully get some of these images in gyms and sports centres, rehab centres, with an inspirational message saying, "Look, these guys can do it, so can you."
I
The
like that
front
idea. Really good idea.
Yes, I've just got to get up some correct backgrounds and a few nice quotes, etc., and work exactly that out. That's going to be done in the next few months once I've got the magazine sorted. And I think it will encourage everybody, including people like myself, because I couldn't walk properly for 6 months
Yeah.
and I needed motivation, whether it's from a person or a poster or something that jogged my memory saying, well, they can do it. Why not you?
Yeah. It's like
I'm sure there's
it's not all bleak. Keep going.
yeah, I'm sure there is a key phrase once I've got it will come into being, should I say, like one of all those iconic phrases, like
Yeah.
Nike is just do it. I'm sure there is. I haven't worked that one out yet.
It's
I
going to
haven't.
hit you at some point when you're sleeping.
Yes,
or
and then I'll just remember it and hopefully write it down, and
yes.
that will be my unique thing. The main aim for this whole setup on my photography, on doing disability sports, is just proving to the world that disabled people can do more than you think they can do.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people think the disabled people just sit at home and watch TV all day. Well, no, we want to have more in our sport, in the sports, but
Yeah.
we want to get out and about. And so what we do is we go to sports, whether we're just spectating or cheering on the team or participating. I don't care. You're going to get out, meet some new friends,
Yeah.
etc. Which for us disabled people or people who are a lot more isolated than the average person is absolutely essential
It
to
is.
our well-being. We need to talk to anybody. Go for a coffee, go for a beer, whatever. I don't care. But go out and make that contact.
Yeah. Interact with people. It will help.
Yes,
I mean, I
and
don't know
stop.
what the disability is, but it'll help your mental health at least.
Yes, and stop sitting behind the screens scared. Because I tried to join some photography groups about a year ago, and I kept looking, saying they said online, online, and I said, why? Photography is outside. We need to talk outside, go and take some photographs, whatever it might be, and
Yeah.
chat as we walk down the street to the next venue or something like that. So yes, we've got to get away from the screen and enjoy life despite our shortcomings, should I say.
And that's pretty good a top tip. But do you have any other top tips, either life, business, disability wise, photography wise, that you can share?
Take a risk. I've taken a lot of risks, should I say, in my past. One was I went out to America. Well, no, there was a poster up on the wall saying, do you want to go and help learn the new products in America? I said, yes, I do. Told my boss, he said, your name's already on the list. Okay. And I didn't have to apply for that.
Yeah.
And then they sent me across to California to learn to support the products, etc. But I've taken big risks. Like I went on a 2-week holiday to south of France and stayed there for 3 years, only coming back for 2 weekends for essential items. And it was just, you've got to take some bold risks
Yeah.
and allow it sounds weird to some people, but allow the universe to guide you along the way. I've done that so many times. I set this up on a whim, and I spent £120 for a year's worth of web hosting for the new site.
Yeah.
And from day one, I got 30 visitors a day for 2 months with stock
Pretty good.
photography. And I sort of said, okay, people want this. And so I didn't lose £120. You put it into good use. So sometimes it's a small risk. I started my business on £120, and then you go from there. You just gotta. It's that risk of going out from your norm, should I say?
Yeah.
And more recently, I got fed up with work back in 2016. So I planned a 2-year vacation or holiday to go around Asia and Australia. It took me that long to took a year to get the money together. And I just went out. And people said, "You're mad." No, I'm going to see different cultures, taste different things, meet different people. They said, "You'll be back in 3 months." I said, "No, I won't." And I was actually out for 23 months.
Yeah.
Came back broke, but the experiences and meals I had with people of all nationalities was amazing. So you've got to take some of these risks. I know people will say if they've got a family and mortgage, etc., they can't take a risk. Well, what is a risk? I started my business on £120.
Yep.
Most people can afford that. If you can't afford to spend that amount of money, we'll just call it £100, and take a little risk.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a big one. Dip your toe in and then see how it goes.
That's it. Since then, yes, I have spent a lot of money on my kit, but that was essential spending. But at the beginning, for the first 6 months, I photographed things with just what I had.
Yeah.
And then I realized, oh, I need some more better kit. And then I looked into it. But there again, it was just money and opportunities for me came along at the right time. So I didn't have to have any finance for any of the items or the opportunity just came.
Yeah.
So you just got to sometimes believe in the universe, putting it in the right place.
I would agree with that. I started my business. I tried to do it alongside this full-time job and it did not work.
Yeah.
So I ditched the job and it's like, right, this has to work. And it will. And it did. Always just in time.
Yes. Oh, yes. The 11th hour thing is, that has scared me quite a few times.
Yes.
But I'm panicking and this, that, and the other. And then, it all goes away. But that means you're supposed to be doing it.
Yeah, it does.
It was like when I got that email from the Paralympics, Team GB, and I didn't realize I couldn't reply to that for 8 hours because I was so excited. Then I said, "Thank you very much," but I couldn't do anything for that 8 hours.
Yeah.
So, and then you take a risk. Oh, I've got to book this. I've got to book that. It's going to cost me all this amount of money. How am I going to do it? Oh, you found the money, etc.
Yeah.
So take a risk and believe in what you're doing, really.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be big money. I could have started this business on about £20 a month if necessary. But no, I decided to pay the full year's web up in front. And that's why it cost me 120 rather than £20 or something like that. So I just took a leap of faith.
It is a leap of faith, and I'm a big advocate of taking those.
Yeah, it's scary, yes, but the reward is you are doing amazing work. When people tell you you're doing amazing work, and you're not even asking for the accolade, you just show them what you're doing, and they say, "Oh wow, yeah, okay." They're getting to know me now.
Yeah.
So that's about it. Just take a risk.
Fabulous. Well, thank you for joining me, Michael. Where can people find you?
On the web. Excuse me. www.thedisabilitysportsnetwork.com. That's the best way to start. And
that link will be used.
Yes. Well, I hope so. From that, then you can have a look at my other social media and larger galleries, if there is one. But on all the Paralympic ones, there is a larger gallery because I put between 4 and 6 photographs up. But I've got 85 to 120 from that gallery. So this would on the blog, there's just a small sample, and then there's a big link down the bottom saying go and look at the rest. So yes, or if you just type in the Disability Sports Network, it will now come up on page 1 of Google. So I'm happy with that. And I didn't do anything to do that except do regular posts.
Yeah. Fantastic. Right. Thank you for joining me, and I wish you all that future success. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you all for joining us on this episode of the BSN for Disabled Entrepreneurs podcast. If you'd like to come join us in the Facebook group, the link is in the show notes as well. And of course, you can check out the wider BSN network to see what's going on there. And I will see you again in a couple of weeks for our next guest.